now today is going to be the right side. Gotta pick it up, gotta pick it up. I can't be late. I gotta run in there and knock people down, then that's what I have to do. Clock it out.
Yeah, we still got 6 minutes.
I know, but still, it's gonna take 2 more minutes.
Should be about right. A minute or 2 take.
Well, I think it's because it's in between the breakfast and lunch thing.
The Braun burgers are supposed to be the best burgers. That's the rumor.
Because they didn't have the ice cream section set up yesterday.
The junior burgers are decent, but the regular burgers are supposed to be good. It's supposed to be like the best burgers in town. And it's like a little small grocery store almost too, because you can get like your cereal and milk, apples and bananas, and all the wonderful things of life, you know, that in that field of eating and making sure you have nutrition, onions, all kinds of wonderful things. But they're supposed to be the best other than Water Street, and we vlogged Water Street. Excuse me. Oh, it's important stuff, all right.
No, you're fine.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about the conflict, the war, the Ukraine thing. I know that there's injustice, and I know that I've seen people get bullied when I was growing up. I grew up in Keller. I've seen people get beat up pretty bad. I got beat up bad one time. My eye was swollen shut. Biggest guy in the school had to pull this guy off of me. He was a boxer, beat the crap out of me. I got a few punches in, but yeah. Anyway, I got some cookies. I have no problems with protecting a small country. I have no problems with that at all. We've been at this Cold War thing has been going on for a long, long time. And there's been injustice, and we know that smaller countries are going to always need help. That's just the way it's going to be for protection. I thought it was pretty cool that Sean Penn gave his Oscar to the president of Ukraine. It's a pretty cool move. Those things are worth money. You know, they're worth something. But who knows what that documentary is going to be like. We'll find out and we'll learn about everything. The cookie. There'll be a war until he comes back. There'll be war even when that happens. But ultimately, he's the Prince of Peace. I'm not Sean Penn, I'm talking about Jesus. But when he comes back, there'll be peace again. Other than that, we'll be dealing with these types of conflicts for a while. None of these chicken meals, you eat too much of them, you're pooting all day, you know, just pooting. Just a poot. Oh, congregation, it's a Jewish temple. They ordered a bunch of chicken. I didn't ask if it was kosher, but I'm sure they probably can deal with it. Yeah, I've been in the Messianic. Usually you have to wear a kappa when you go to the service. Been to a few bar mitzvahs too. We'll have to find out who it's from or who it's for. Been to a few of these. Got my own kappa too, but I didn't bring it. All right, it's chicken time. Little Jewish temple. They like chicken. Bethel. Right next to this get up right here. Little Christian cross. Arbor lawn. Ooh, a little, what the heck is that? Little dugout thing for the soccer. Yeah, soccer's my favorite. I'm a big soccer fan. That's in Hebrew right here. Beth El congregation. They're the real thing, though, I think. Not that the Messianic Jews are any different, really. Well, one believes in Jesus, the other one heard of him. Anyway, yeah, soccer is definitely the sport. It's about endurance. The English are good at it. So are the Mexicans. They compete sometimes. Soccer is the way to go in sport, for sure. By far, it's the cleanest game out there, and you got to run around. There's the skyline of Fort Worth. Through the bars. This little bridge right here. The train yard right there. It's one of my favorites, Tokyo Cafe. I think they should be Michelin, but they probably need to fancy it up a little bit. They've got kind of a cutesy feel. It looks a little like Tokyo. I've never been to Tokyo, but I'm sure it looks similar. Kind of sits here like that, kind of like a Tokyo Cafe would. And then I'll show you, they're busy right now. It's like 45 minutes, but that's the outside of it. It's right off of this area right here. They're really good. I've only smelled their sushi, but it's the best smelling sushi around. And they're really professional. They're very timely. So they get all their orders on time. And they're just, they're very kind and nice and big smiles. It's called Tokyo Cafe. It's really, really good. It's always busy. Here's their operation. All right, we know he gets picked up by Mom. Now we have to find something else to put in the screenplay. There's the digging. First he's digging. Then there's the knock at the door. It's the well. It's a bad dream. He wakes up. Then it's Mom. You ready for Maine? Okay. We're going to have him going through Jackson. Now I got to find out if it's going to be Jackson, Mississippi, or if it's going to be Jackson, Tennessee. Figure it out in the next scene. That's not the next scene. That's going to be the other scene. This is going to be the lamp scene. So it's going to be about the lamp. Mom and Jonah are going to be having an argument about whether to take the lamp. And that'll be at the car, at the Kia Rio. It'll be a Kia Rio in it. So we'll see. I'm the one picking up Amber. Maybe for Amber. Okay, cool. Okay. That's fine. All right, here it is, the Yes Tokyo Cafe. It's pretty cool. Big time copyright though. This little artistic design of the toll paper here. It's all designed with that kind of stuff. It's like almost like a graphic novel. So you have a tile, and it goes into this like paper Asian comic strip. cool restaurants. I give them a thumbs up on originality. Stories. Well, I don't know what makes up the Michelin, but it's a cute little restaurant. I mean, he said that there's not a Michelin guy in Texas, so the Michelin people are usually the people that make those decisions. Like, there's Michelin restaurants in San Francisco, probably LA, Hollywood, probably most likely, well, there's going to be New York ones, London, Tokyo, Hong Kong, things like that. I guess they make the decisions on that. It's a really cool restaurant, though. Right, I wrote my second and third page for Escape from Maine. Actually, you know what? My second and third page, right? So I just wrote it. It's the exit scene from the Fort Worth apartment to get on the road with the cats and mom. They fight over a lamp to make the decision if the lamp should make it into the packaging of the Kia Rio. I didn't put down what type of car, but the car's full of all the stuff. And the two cats, Romeo and Mojo, I'm using their real names because they're no longer around. They wouldn't care, but Romeo and Mojo are packed on top on the cat beds. And then they head off towards Maine. So I wrote that scene. Try to get it eventually, before it's all over, to Meryl Streep, because I think she'd be perfect for my mom, if I'm that lucky. I mean, it doesn't have to be Meryl Streep. It'd be cool. I can always throw it over to Julia Roberts. I don't know. Sally Fields and Meryl Streep are the same thing. I don't know. I think my mom looked kind of older. Meryl Streep maybe. Meryl Streep looks pretty young. I don't know. We'll have to see. She looked okay in Lemony Snicket's. So my pants are falling down here. Well, you can't really see it with a long shirt on. There it is. We're headed to Flower Child. So when I went to Maine, I was on unemployment. I hadn't put that in the script yet. Yeah, I didn't have a job when I left. I was kind of displaced in a way. I certainly was going to try a few things in Dallas. I was going to try like real estate or something. And I was going to move to Dallas over kind of by, not too far from Fair Park, kind of by maybe like as close to SMU as I could get. I was considering going back and getting my MFA in theater arts and maybe like a side major in film and media. Radio, television, film kind of thing at SMU. And I was just kind of sitting there. I was uploading a possible feature called Bulb, which I haven't mentioned that either. It might be in the, it's in the book about the YouTube videos. Oh, that's a cool tree right there. That's a really cool tree. Regardless, I didn't have a whole lot when I arrived in Maine. Getting the job at the mill, working, at the wood mill, and then visiting mom and Earl was kind of a start. And then I made a few friends and got a part of the center theater, community theater kind of thing, and was writing. But I didn't financially have really anything at all, really. I called my friend Eric, who was a commercial actor out in Hollywood. I called him from the cabin in Parkman. I was trying to get back to Hollywood. It's like, I live with my dad. And, I was like, I understand. He ended up moving to LA later on, but lived in Santa Ana. I was trying to get out there for some reason. It's a place I'd been before. But I had to stick it out there for 15 months. I even auditioned for Beauty Inside when I was there. The first movie that was posted on Facebook as a feature. I guess through Mark Zuckerberg's permission. Yeah, it's called Beauty Inside. I had auditioned for it at the Dover Foxcroft apartment. I had Time Warner as the internet service. Yeah, I just had the wage that I got from the mill. You know, through the wood mill, working in the wood mill. Nothing special, you know. The actors there, big time struggle. They're far from New York. Far from New York. All the way from Georgia. In God we trust. TCU campus, Texas Christian University. That's the Mary Wright Admission Center. The home of the frogs. They take frog bucks. God bless Georgia. Ultimately, that's the payback, is the children. I mean, yeah, I could possibly go off and make a feature, which I probably will. It'll probably eventually happen. I'll have to go through some rigmarole, but it'll be done. It'll get done. A man has a dream and he accomplishes the dream, so they know that. But that's not the revenge. The revenge to the tell is the children. My children. That's the revenge to the tell. Because aren't those children beautiful? And that's the revenge. And they never know. The enemy never knows. You never know when looking at one man how many children he has. It's impossible to know. You would never know the amount of children that I have. I know I have 3 children, but you don't know that. I could have 20 children. You don't know. You'll never know. But that's the revenge. And that's what the enemy fights it. That's what the enemy fights for, to try to prevent you from having a family. And he'll do everything he can. He's wrapped up in the Catholic Church and everything. She'll throw her little fit. Look at all the beautiful cathedrals they have. The Lulleman Cathedral, the J. Crew Cathedral, the Ann Taylor Cathedral. So they'll eat their tofu salads and drink their wine and keep their bodies until they're around 80 or so, and they're so wrinkly and disgusting and they smell like vitamins that no one desires them at all. Yet they still think of the children. How badly they want to hurt. It doesn't hurt anymore. It hurt when I was younger. But she doesn't bother me anymore. Look at her Athleta Cathedral and her JIL art and her pottery bread. We're going by Flower Child. But the whole place is completely crowded. Big financial gain. It's right across the street. There's the Blue Goose over there and the Pacific Table. Flower Child's over that way. And then way over there there's HG Supplies, which is a restaurant too. And there's Victoria's Secrets. I'm sure she worked there once. Anthropology way over there. Yeah, it's the children. Once those children popped out right in my hand, I was rocking my baby back and forth. Had my son, my daughter, my 2 daughters. It doesn't matter about the Oscars at that point. They'd only give me the Oscars, or they'd only give me the movies just to kind of give it a bittersweet taste, you know? Because the family's far more powerful. The family's far more everything, you know? Even more than the English language that she so importantly corrects, you know? Her physics problems. The family is far more important than her judgment and her discretion, which dissolves over time and empties out into the wastebasket. So, anyway, I'll still write my story. I'm on page 3 on Escape from Maine. I'll have it done definitely by summer. And I'll give it to some important people. But first, a parking place. My kingdom for a parking place. No, I'm just joking. It's like my horse for a kingdom. Oh, look, one opened up. My horse for a parking place. It's pretty eager about doing it there. Boy, those Catholics are pretty headstrong. Like Martin Luther did what he did, leave it alone. You know, take your confession box and shove it. We're in like Glen. Voila. Right behind the BMW. Flower Child's a hippie restaurant for brat ladies that go to TCU sometimes. It's healthy food for a happy world. Look at it right here. Big time copyright. Get yourself a ginger miso crunch. Chicken steak. Bird is the word. So the idea behind Jonah Samuel Camden III leaving the suburb, small town next to the military base, which is, I think at the time was an Air Force base, now it's a naval base, 2012, and packing the entire car, the Rio car, full of boxes and bags of clothes and maybe like a eventually a lamp. This lamp that has it's like a spiral lamp, kind of spirals around. It's got like these 3 little spirals that, so you know those old school ones, it kind of looks like a muscle, you know, like it's a lamp that spirals, the base of the lamp, and then the top of it, then it has a lampshade. It's got like metal or iron that spirals around. It's nice looking. Mom wants to take it to Maine, and he's like, well, what am I gonna do with the lamp? It's okay, I can buy a lamp when I'm there, that kind of thing. And anyway, they had this little argument about the lamp. Then they get the cats in, and the 2 cats get into the cat beds, and that happens. And then she tells him, look, if you leave, we're not going to help you get back to Texas, but we will help you get there, and we'll help you get, you know, moved in to the cabin. And that's where he gets to writing the book. And so he, you know, finally decides to go ahead and give it a try, because he can always come back. You know, Morrissey says you can never go home again, and a lot of other poets. You can't really go home, but you can go to the same city again. But anyway, and this is where he begins his trip. And the cats are, one's a tuxedo cat, one's an all black cat. Just wanted to give those notes. And I wrote it, and it's posted on my Facebook, my Cole Spivey Facebook. So that's the 2nd and 3rd page of the story, Escape from Maine, the screenplay. And the next step will probably be, they'll be in Jackson, probably Tennessee. Probably went through Tennessee. They go through Jackson, Tennessee. I don't think it was Jackson, Mississippi. Well, anyway, they go through a city like Jackson, Tennessee, and they're listening to Johnny Cash's Jackson. I'm real weird about music, so I'll probably just say a country song, and maybe he can sing, you know, we're going to Jackson. So that'll be the next step, and then the cats will still be in the back of the cat beds, you know, looking down and curled up like cats do. And Mom going like this because he's got a cigarette hanging out of the window, smoking a cigarette and driving. And Mom's over here, you know, like covering her nose because she hates the smell of cigarettes. And they're on the highway going through a town like Jackson. Will be the next one. This one is just them getting ready to go. Taking my time on this one.